I say the business is, man. So this your boy HB. So I ain't really been I've been following the Dirk trial, but I really haven't been like, doing any vlogs or posting anything about it. But what a lot of people gotta realize is snitching ain't never right. You know what I'm saying? You can't really justify it. But and when it comes to Jam, when it comes to OTL Bunny, I kind of understand why they probably decided to tell. Simply because they probably felt betrayed. They probably felt like, man, I've been holding y'all down. I've been rocking with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I done did all these crimes. I done did all this stuff. And when it was time for people to be solid for me, nobody was solid for me. Everybody turned their back. So that's why they think like, shoot, if y'all gonna snake me out or slime me, then hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm already knowing that I'm facing probably some time. So hey, it's your defense against mine. You know what I'm saying? Your attorney against mine. I gotta do what I gotta do to help myself. And that's what, you know what I'm saying, what it's gonna boil down to. Now, am I saying that Durkio, Smirkio, you know what I'm saying, is snitching or anything? No. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that, when you have a defense attorney, your attorney is trying to plead your case, trying to make sure that you go home or you get the less time as possible. So it makes sense if I didn't do any other crimes or murders, if I wasn't around any other M's, then I would say, hey, I didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I didn't even have no knowledge of it. I didn't know this was going on. You know what I'm saying? They was just, so I was letting people use, you know what I'm saying, credit cards and different stuff or whatever to do certain stuff and pay for certain stuff. But I didn't know all that was going on because I'm a rapper. So how would I know? And that's what that's what his attorneys are trying to convey to the jury. But at the end of the day, Dirk, I also got to realize too, bro, you was talking really heavy in your songs. So a lot of people going to already, you know what I'm saying, like, so you saying such and such, but you was saying such and such in these songs and different stuff. Now, when it comes to music, of course, it's an expression, you know what I'm saying, it's artistic expression, you know what I'm saying, just vent over, you know what I'm saying, over instrumentals, you know what I'm saying, letting that pain out, telling your story. But when you start painting pictures with your music that's tying into real life events, that's when it, you know what I'm saying, changes. Text messages, you know what I'm saying, different stuff. He was talks about, you know what I'm saying, he was trying to flee the country and, you know what I'm saying, they called him, boxed him in. At first he didn't want to, just give himself up, but he fought for a little minute and finally gave in. But when it comes to this OTL Jam situation, bro just probably felt like, hey, these guys didn't keep it solid, they didn't keep it loyal. Because if you think about it, most of the people that snitched, most of them snitched because they gang did not keep it solid with them. Somebody betrayed them in their gang. Something happened to make them flip. Because most of the time, you know what I'm saying, when you in the gang and your guys keep it solid 100, you're not going to flip. But when these guys, you know what I'm saying, start betraying you or putting M's on you, you know what I'm saying that you did this or you did that, and trying to bury you, you start thinking about yourself. Because you start thinking, why am I being loyal to this game that ain't loyal to me? Because if the shoe's on the other foot, I'm not throwing my brothers under the bus. But they looking at it like, hey, I'm trying to come home. Or I'm trying to get the lightest sentence possible. Now, it was said that Jam is naming names of all kind of crimes. He giving names, like, you know what I'm saying, notable names. People that we recognize, people that we know, people that we feel like was about it, that was making music detailing crimes. Now, this is the thing. I understand the drill and stuff like that, but detailing crimes. Jam had a song where he was detailing crimes, saying this and that, of naming people names. So I'm telling y'all, if that music gets used, Jam, you know what I'm saying, that really can put Dirk in a jam. Now, the crazy thing about it is, on the song Times, when the song Times, like one of Dirk's best songs back in the day, you know what I'm saying, we was still in the rack, still really, really grinding, trying to get out. He had a song called Times Ain't the Same. We had a song called Times. And in the song he said, free my hitter jam. Yeah, free my hitter jam. You know what I'm saying? Get him out the jam. I know Boone, he gonna blame, and I'm beefing with the ops, they'll get popped. You feel what I'm saying? So he done he done said jam song, he done said jam naming songs before. In the past, you gotta think about it. That song came out, that was on Signed to the Streets, maybe I think the first one, Signed to the Streets. So just think about that and fast forward to now. That should kind of tell you how long Jam been putting in work. Well, I allegedly putting in work for Durk or doing certain stuff. You feel what I'm talking about? So at the end of the day, Jam said, look, since y'all betrayed me, y'all don't want to show me love, y'all think y'all just gonna play with my name and play with me, I got something for you. And that's why most people tell. Some people just tell because out of fear, they don't want to go to prison. Other people tell, most of the time they tell because they betrayed. Because they get betrayed by some people in the gang that's not loyal to them when they was loyal to them. Simple and plain. If you look at all the people, the high profile, you know what I'm saying, gangsters, whatever you want to call them, that told, most of the time, it was either because out of fear, because they didn't want to go to prison forever, or because they felt betrayed. That's the only two times you really see snitching. It ain't no in between. Is either you felt betrayed, or you fear that you're gonna be in prison for the rest of your life. Simple and plain. That's the only two times you see people snitch. It ain't no in between. It might be like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not directly saying it, it's going through my lawyer, he's saying it, but this is how I feel because I gotta agree to that defense. You understand? Because you can't, you gotta think about it. Do you think that the lawyer just say, hey, bitch, I'm finna just... No, they discuss, they talk about this to some degree. Because this is the thing. When you fight for your life or whatever, but you still trying to be a street guy, but you fighting for your life, the lawyer gonna ask you certain stuff. They're gonna ask you questions to make sure that you agree with some of the stuff that they trying to play. They gonna talk. They gonna have talks and discussions. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They gonna some way he gonna know what the play is or what's going on. He might not know everything, but he gonna have to agree to some of this stuff that they saying. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Jam felt betrayed. He felt like, I did all this for the gang and nobody was loyal to me. So what I got to lose? Y'all played with me. Y'all act like that I went out here doing what I was doing for y'all, for, you know what I'm saying, for the gang, for everything. Like I'm saying. But think about this. That song Times came out probably over 10 years ago. Like, because it's 2026. So I think that was like 2014, something like that. It had to be between 2012 and 2014 when that song came out, when that mixtape came out. So, with that being said, think about that and fast forward to now. That's a long time. And ain't no telling how much work allegedly the OTF Jam put in for Durk and for the game. Now this is just my opinion. That's why I feel like OTF Jam is telling, because he feel like he was betrayed by his gang. Other people have said the same thing, and I feel the same way, because most of the time when people tell, it's one or two things. Either somebody betrayed them, or they don't want to go to prison forever. And people ain't going to prison forever no more. So to y'all fellas that's in the streets, y'all think y'all gonna do these crimes, and people just gonna say, all right, people ain't doing that no more. That's over with. Them days over. It's always been snitching in the streets. The crazy thing about it is people no snitch. It's been snitching since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of crimes, it's been snitching. Some of the biggest gangsters in the world told. So what you think your homie's gonna do? You in the streets. Some of the biggest gangsters in the world that was making hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars told. What you think they gonna do to you? You think they gonna keep it? No, they ain't finna keep it silent. 40, 50 plus years? And they could tell and go home in probably 10? Be put in protective custody or something? Come on, man. Ain't nobody keeping it silent like that no more. That's just how it is. Nobody keeping it silent like that no more. And why would they keep it silent? Because they know if they don't tell, somebody else in the gang gonna tell. And that's what's going on. OTF Jam letting y'all know what it is. He trying to get out of that jam. And that's what it is, man. This what HB. Hey, y'all stay tuned, man. This Durk case going is crazy. A whole lot of twists and turns. It's gonna be a lot more on the way.